Welcome to Full Scope, a podcast designed to analyze the games that we love, headlines and music, and the movies we can't forget. I'm your host, Wellington Burns. I'm joined by a first-time special guest, Melissa Murphy, entrepreneur and diehard Heat fan. You already know the vibes. Miami 3. Is D-Wade the greatest Heat ever? Is obviously?
Among the greats, but yes, it's
Yes.
like a yes and a follow-up yes to your to
I
your
mean, there's
question.
LeBron. There's that LeBron guy. He's kind of good. He's kind of good. He's kind of good. Oh, you're
We're
not a
talking
LeBron
about
fan?
Heat history. I don't know if I would say
Oh.
I'm a LeBron fan. I respect his game. I respect his legacy. I'll say that. And he did a lot for the Heat organization when he
Mhm.
was with them. As far as Heat history, though, people who have been
Is
with the team for the longest,
is
like
it is
he's
it is
in
it the
there.
fact that he did not hold that 7-8 title when he said not one, not is it that? Were you guys expecting
It
like 7-8 titles?
I wouldn't say it's even that. I think he had to do his job. I respect him going back home. I was like, yo, go get a championship for your team. I just think more so like when I think Heat legacy or Heat history, I'm thinking more so along the lines of loyalty. Like
Yeah, that's
folks who have
fair.
stayed for long amounts of time. Wade was there for the good, the bad, the ugly. You
Oh
feel
yeah,
me? Our
loyal.
first championship before LeBron came, the two that came after LeBron was there.
Yes.
He was 10 toes
10 toes
down for
down.
Miami. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why he's Heat history to me. You feel me?
Oh, for
Along with
sure.
Alonzo
Oh
Mourning, of
yes.
course, I mean everybody hating on Haslam because they say he ain't did nothing, but I'm like he's also been loyal to
And
the
honestly,
team.
Udonis Haslam, he was there for big moments. He was there for so
Mm-hmm.
many big moments. That's why I love Udonis Haslam. And
Mm-hmm.
but we get to the first topic, what are your thoughts on this Luka Doncic to the Lakers trade? I think it's
Yeah.
the craziest trade in NBA history. I don't think we've had a crazier trade.
Honest to goodness, I don't know why it just feels like it's coming out of left field. Like
It is.
it feels like Luca's being punished for something. I just don't understand it. And I feel like in a lot of ways, the
Mm.
Mavericks got the better end of the deal. I
Really?
just honest to if we're
Oh,
just
okay.
being
Okay.
honest,
Okay.
I really think the way that Klay Thompson, the way that Kyrie Irving and AD would play together, that may
It's
just
a
make
mature
for a
team.
better setup for
It's a
them.
mature
It is a
team.
mature
Yeah, I
team.
like it.
So, like, they have a lot of OGs who may be able to help push the game a bit forward.
Yeah.
Luca and LeBron, I'm just confused. Like, I just don't know what kind of chemistry there would be. So I'm interested to see how this is going to shake up the rest of the season. But goodness, the game after Luca got traded, with who are they playing when they lost by like 43 points? And I was like,
Oh yeah, that was
"Wait,
nuts. That I forget which team it
yeah,
was. That was nuts.
it was crazy work." And I was like, y'all sure y'all wanted that trade to go through? Like,
To
oh
me, the
no.
thing about it, and I was talking to Tyler about it,
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers won the long term game because they have a
True.
box office star. Luka Doncic is going to be playing for the next 10 to 15 years. They have a box
True.
office star. So I think that they win the long term, but the Dallas is going to be tough short
Yeah,
term
man.
because you got AD, got Kyrie, and Clay is a big time. So that's probably going to be that could be a conference finals team. That can honestly be,
Honest to goodness, I'll tell you what, it really could be though. It could be.
yes.
But there are a couple of hot contenders that I really wasn't expecting to break out the way that they have in this season, no doubt.
OKC, OKC,
Yeah. Yeah.
OKC. Yeah. Again, we're getting way too ahead of schedule, but I want to say this first. Our first topic, we got De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs, and I
Hmm.
think for Wembenyama, so the Kings they send Fox to the Spurs and acquired Chicago Bulls guard Zach LaVine as part of a three-team trade involving multiple players and
Hmm.
also draft picks. But Wembenyama, he's so fortunate right now to get
Yes.
a guard like De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is like I think 27, and
He's young.
yeah, he's super young. So to get that, I'm like, whoa, look out. Wembenyama is already I'm already high on Wembenyama, but
Hmm.
you get De'Aaron Fox, it's to me it's scary hours. I think that team is gonna be tough.
Honest to goodness, I agree with you. I didn't wear my Wembanyama jersey because I'm loyal to my team, but I agree. Wembanyama was already one to look out for. His first season, of course, like most rookie seasons on a really hard team, was expected. But like the combo of him, Chris Paul, some of those guys down there are doing special stuff. Now you add
Yes.
De'Aaron Fox to the mix. They really could be playoff contenders. I
Oh, for
wouldn't be
sure.
surprised if they're just, scooting up in the ranks. Now, if we look at it in the grand scheme of things, if we look at it from the standings, they're doing just as well as a lot of the top East players. So,
Oh, yeah.
like, I'm interested to see how the season is going to shake out. But I do feel that the Kings once again got the better end of
Oh,
the
see,
deal.
you are really switching it up every time with these picks. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay. So I had to watch a commentary on this one because this one also didn't make sense to me. I was like, De'Aaron Fox has been loyal to Sacramento. Sacramento has been like in playoff contention for a good couple of times, but they can never finish. Like they can never just get to past like first or second round. I can never remember. However, the way that Zach LaVine plays the game, he scores a lot of good points in the paint. And then in
Yes.
addition to that, I think they were saying that all of his threes are at like 45 percentile range, which is amazing. He plays like how Sabonis plays. So like the way that they would play together may be the thing that would get them over just getting through the first to the second round of the playoffs.
Hmm.
They may have like a real shot with a star like Zach LaVine. So I'm like, huh,
I,
we'll
I, and that's the thing. Like Zach LaVine to me is a very interesting player because I think he's a
see.
great scorer, but I also don't
Mm-hmm.
think he's defensively sound. And I think that part is kind of
Mm.
like I just don't see it yet from him. Maybe it's gonna come with time, but I just don't see it yet. He's a very like entertaining offensive player. Like anybody who watches NBA
Absolutely.
knows that. But defensively, that's where I'm kind of like pausing.
I see what you're saying, but if I'm thinking like scores, people who can get to the basket, that's your guy.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
like,
For
if
sure.
we can get somebody who can do that well enough, I
Hmm.
just think it just may add just a little bit of spice to the Kings. And I think in the way that it would add it is just it would just be enough because there's enough role players as far as defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
agree with that. I agree
yeah,
with
so
that.
I think if he just came in there and just did his job, like boom, it would just take it to the next level. I'm really interested to see the next couple of games with these trades
Hmm.
and things. I don't know. Like Wellington, my heart can't take no more. I don't need
No,
no more surprise
I'm
trades.
telling you, and I'm not saying this just as hyperbole. Tonight is going to be crazy. There
Ay,
are
ay,
going to be
ay.
some breaking news. You're going to get Sham Sharania updates. He is going to like KD's on the move. KD's out.
Ay,
He's got
ay,
his bags
ay.
packed and he's like, I'm ready to go.
I'm
I
just
got
trying to
my
figure
hat.
out
I
where
got
he's
my hat. I
going.
got my hat cover my bald spot, and I'm good. I'm
Oh,
good.
not
I'm
my ball.
good. No, okay. Hey, KD, gotta cut that off. I'm sorry.
No, but for real though, it's like, you gotta just say goodbye for
It's
real.
just
Just
that
say goodbye.
he has that look. It's that cut like when a boy has not brushed his hair in like 5 days, like no
Mm-mm.
brush, no brush. But
Between Katie's hair and his ankles, I just don't know what's
I don't
worse.
get
Like,
it.
sir, you make millions of
You're
dollars.
playing with Devin Booker, who is, I think, top 10 light skin light. No.
Quite literally, yes. Top 10. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
But I really think with this trade though, I think Zach LaVine, he gets to be in that offensive like output area where he does
Mm-hmm.
not have to focus on
Mm-hmm.
defense. But I think with the Spurs, De'Aaron Fox and Wembanyama, they get to build like something special. That's what I really
Fair.
I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
for because I
Mm-hmm.
think they win the long-term trade. Short term, yeah, I could see your Sacramento winning it, but I think long term is the Spurs. Because Wembanyama is going to be a monster. Like
Honest to
women,
goodness,
yeah, he's gonna
yeah.
be a monster. So
He's already like headed there.
yeah.
And I can agree with that because Zach LaVine, he's 30. So
Hmm.
like maybe if he continues to stay healthy, we may get another good like 5 or so years out of
Yeah,
him. If
yeah.
he continues to do what he's doing now, which is great. He's
Hmm.
got great output now. Is it like LeBron like output? I don't know. This I can't confirm or deny.
That's what I was
To
asking a friend. I was asking a friend on my last
Mhm.
episode, like out of the young guys, who would you build a franchise around? Like I put Wembenyama, Shea, Luka. I think those were the main three guys, and maybe
Mhm.
Jokic.
Mhm.
But me
Oh yeah.
personally, I'd say Jokic right now because I think Jokic is
Hmm.
like a he's kind of reliable. He's very reliable. He shows up every game.
Very
He
reliable
does not look when he walks those turntables. He does not look like a NBA player. He looks
at all.
very average, but he can shoot from the perimeter. He can like bang down. He can do all those great things. That's why Jokic is like I think he's the future. But
Absolutely. And he does it
yeah,
effortlessly, which is the crazy part. Like just watching him watching him throw,
yeah,
it's like
it's
he doesn't
so
care about it
frustrating.
at
I was
all.
watching that finals, rewatching the game, the finals against Miami, and I was like, this guy is just like the Pillsbury Doughboy who just shows up and is like, oh, like
Hmm.
I'm here. I'm like, what? Like no effort, no facial expression.
Zero.
He's just like, I'm gonna beat the
Zero.
Heat in 5 games. I'm win the title, and I'm gonna go to my horses, and I'm out.
Quite
That's
literally,
why he's
yes.
not a marketable. To me, Luka is the star.
Hmm.
Luka is
Hmm.
the guy who has the beer belly. He's got the like. Luka is like that dude who just like I'm
Fair.
just gonna
Hmm.
ball, and I am out of shape. He's out of shape, like literally out of shape, and I'm like, dog, you gotta get like a trainer. You gotta get a
I
trainer.
mean,
How
he's
can
out of
you?
shape, but like he can get away with it, my
Oh, he
G. I
can,
just don't
he can,
know.
he can. And but my thing is like conditioning. Can Patrick
Hmm.
can Patrick Mahomes in the NFL get away with having a dad bod? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he can play in his deep 40s like Brady, because Brady was slim and trim all the time.
Oh, all the
All
time.
the time.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
Mahomes, he likes his burrito bowls from Chipotle. He says he
Oh.
likes, which I like them too. When I was on my second date, burrito bowl and Chipotle. Burrito bowl.
I'm screaming.
Gotta
Oh
do
my
it.
goodness.
Gotta
Got
do
to.
it. Absolutely
It's
have
very
to do
necessary.
it. Absolutely have to do
Is
it.
it bad that I had a bowl at Chipotle today? I'm like, oh man, why are you calling me out like
Come
this?
on
This
now.
is
Come on
pathetic.
now. See, that's I'm locked in with the burrito bowl from Chipotle. It's my cheat
Fair.
meal like once a week. But I think I'd say the Kings, they win the now. They win the now.
Okay.
But Wemby, he's got some time to learn. So he's definitely
Yeah.
got some
He
time to
wins
learn.
the later for sure.
Oh, for
They're
sure.
gonna play the long game with
Yeah.
that. I feel
So who
that. I
goes
feel
further in the playoffs with the Lakers and Mavericks? Do you think the Mavericks go further this year? Because I think
Yeah.
Luka and LeBron, I don't know, the clash is going to be insane. I don't know what they're going to. JJ Redick, I'm praying for him because he's got his hands full.
Honest to goodness, JJ Redick does have his hands full, but I tell you right now, I
It's a
really
crazy
think the
first
Mavs are
year.
gonna
That's
take
a
it further.
crazy first year.
Oh
You have to
yes.
coach. Then you trade AD, and it's like, oh, Luka Doncic, here we go. Like,
It's going to be an insane first year, I'll tell you what. I don't know because I'm glad that the Lakers have moved up in the standings so far. They've been doing fine, but I think with the Heat that the cuz I'm telling you right now, 80 is coming with a vengeance.
ten
I
time All
would put
Star.
money on
You
it.
put that
Yes,
under his IG comment. 10 time All Star. Like, you guys messed up.
quite
That's the
literally.
wrong one.
Yeah. Y'all really messed up and the method or the way that he got traded, I
It's so
just know
dirty.
that
Oh my
like it
gosh, it's
was
so
really
dirty.
dirty. I
Like, don't
never
do that to
understood
him
the
when he's
concept
out.
of that.
Yeah, don't do that to him when he's out.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, he's been loyal to the Lakers. So like I really didn't understand the concept of it all, but I bet you come playoff time, he's going to be coming for the Lakers' head. Like
Mm.
I would put
Don't be
money
right top.
down on them making it a bit further, the Mavs making it a bit further than the Lakers. Because the
Yeah,
Lakers are good. They're reliable in terms of getting there, but it's been a good little minute since they've been able to get further than what? The
second round.
second, yeah, second
Yeah,
round. Like they caught their last one in 2020, and I think they it may be their last one for a while. that LeBron's star power and even the way that the team works together is not enough to get them to the place where they're passing, where the Mavs, where the Spurs,
Mm.
where, all of these other teams, especially Cleveland and OKC, where they're headed.
Yeah,
And then for the Celtics, where they've been, because they just maintain consistency.
for sure. I think like that's what I want to say. I was watching the Cleveland Boston game earlier.
Hmm.
Uh, Man, Cleveland's so good. Cleveland is so good. I love this Cleveland team,
Hmm.
and I love like OKC. The fact that um OKC doesn't need to get into these trade sweepstakes. They need to stay away from KD because he's gonna mess up their like longevity. Golden
Yes.
State is desperate because they're like, hey, we need to win now. We have Steph in his twilight years. We saw what Steph did in Paris over the
Yeah, man.
Olympics, and it's just like, oh, I can't. We can't let that guy like go into Kobe like his last two Kobe years. Like
Mm-mm.
it can't happen that way. So they are
Mm-mm.
desperate. OKC, Cleveland, which I think possibly could be the NBA Finals this year. OKC and Cleveland.
I'll tell you what,
Honestly think that could be the
I
finals this
agree
year.
with you. Yeah,
I
I
think it's gonna
agree
be a
with
very
you.
different finals this year, and
And I'm kind of excited about
I
that.
am too.
Like, even though I'm like, I'm crying for my team. My team is
Yeah.
holding on amidst all of the stuff that's going
Yes.
on
That's
with
tough.
Jimmy. But like, I would be remiss if I would just be like, yeah, Miami's gonna make it to the finals. We're a scrappy team. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what, we are a scrappy team and we make it somehow, some way into the playoff arena. But this year, I'm telling you, Cleveland or OKC, if one of them don't get it, I'm gonna be shook. Like
Hmm.
it would be weird if they didn't make it to the finals.
It would be. It would be very weird. And
Hmm.
I also think I just also think it's just a new wave. It's a new wave of teams. And that's what I
Yeah.
really like. I like the fact that we got the Shays. You know,
Hmm.
even I'm a big fan of the Knicks, this new Knicks team and Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, because I think the Knicks are like they're bringing that grittiness that New York
Yeah.
once had. And I really
Yeah.
like that. I'm like, that's they just need a star. They just need a star. That's all they're missing to me.
Okay, now I have a question for you in regards to that because they also did receive a trade. They received Carl Anthony
Oh
Towns.
yes,
Do
yeah.
you feel like just the chemistry of that is working well for them? I haven't really seen them play with him, so I
Mm.
wouldn't know, but they seem to be doing fine in
They're
the
top
standings
four.
as well.
Yeah, top
They're
four in the
top
East. Yeah.
four. So I'm like,
And I
okay.
think like I personally think they're going to end up in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's why, but I just don't
Mm-hmm.
trust Cat.
Same.
If it's Cleveland and the Knicks, I'm going to Cleveland because I'm like I think Donovan Mitchell's a star, and he's gonna like
Mm-hmm.
have bigger games. I just
Mm,
don't
yeah,
see Josh Hart outplaying. I don't see it happen. I just need you need that one guy,
fair.
and that's why I'm just kind of like they're on the precipice. They're on the precipice, but they just don't have that one
Hmm.
star. So,
I
um,
agree.
I
Hmm.
want to say this though, getting to the Nuggets, Michael Malone, he was very adamant about Michael Porter Jr. that he said, like, you know, we're not trading this guy. We're not doing it at all. Porter had a season high 36 points in Monday's win, 12 22 shooting. And
Hmm.
he says, quote, no, because we're not trading Michael Porter. He said, I'm not touching base with anybody on that. And if there's something coming, obviously will talk with me, and I'm sure we'll communicate with whatever players. But Michael's a really important piece. He helped us win a championship. I appreciate the fact that the Nuggets are actually loyal to like an important. I think Michael Porter Jr. is really good. I don't know
Hmm.
why you would trade Michael Porter Jr. because it's just the Nuggets are fourth in the West. I don't even know what the problem is. You know why that would even be a deal. So Michael Porter Jr. I think to me, my take is he should be covered. He's really good. He's a good scorer, and
Hmm.
y'all should like y'all should keep that on lock. Y'all should just keep that on lock.
I agree. Like for me, when I'm thinking about the Nuggets team, and I'm thinking about some of the people that they let go, like they let go of KCP, they let go of there were a couple of other people that they let go, and I was like, why are we doing so much changing? What
Mm.
we're doing seems to be working well. That team has a crazy kind of chemistry, and I think that's what led to their championship. When was that? Was that 2023
Yes,
that they took
2023.
it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'm like, I agree. I wouldn't take him out of the game. Like I wouldn't trade him for anything. If we can, if we're maintaining while all these other teams are doing plenty of shifting, I'm like, listen, please
Hmm.
just keep it the same. If he doesn't have to go anywhere, if he's not, is he asking to go anywhere? I think that's the thing that I'm
No,
confused about.
no,
No,
he's not.
what's
He's
up?
not. Yeah, he's not asking to go anywhere. I think it sounds very greedy. It sounds very greedy to
Yeah.
me.
I'm thinking it's a contract thing for sure. Like who can pay out the
Money.
most.
Yes,
Of course,
yes, of
it
course.
always will
It's
boil
always the money.
down to money. And I'm like, no, if he can continue to be amongst the chemistry in Denver, they may be able to sneak up a bit on the standings. So
Hmm.
like let things be. Just let them be. I think it would be ideal to keep him as well. And I'm like, trade for who though? Like trade for what? Because I don't
Yeah.
really see anybody else coming in there and helping their game. They have a really nice chemistry. And like you said, Jokic is already a beast. So like let
Hmm.
things be as they are. Just let them be.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
when you got something good, don't mess it up. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I think that's a
And
very
then
simple policy.
yeah.
So I honestly I'm gonna give credit to Russell Westbrook because I've been very like I haven't been the biggest fan of him recently, but he's been fitting in well. He's been fitting in well with the Nuggets, and he's like I think Jokic is like, hey, he just wasn't utilized well with the Clippers and the Lakers. So he's
Honest
doing
to
his thing.
goodness, I'll tell you what, I
And what about the
agree.
Clippers? Man, that's sad. That's sad. What's going on with them? I know they're sixth, but it's just like Kawhi is like I I'm just kind of like two titles is good, is really good. It's honestly really good.
Absolutely. We
But
don't dispute that.
he's kind of falling into the abyss. And I'm like, I wonder what his career is gonna look like in 2 years when this guy just can't be available. That's what
I
scares
agree.
me. That's what
I
scares. I'm
agree.
like, is this guy good? Like, is this guy gonna like and what is Kawhi's post career look like? That's the thing. It's just like we don't even know. Like this, we're really gonna have to look back and be like, we appreciate these moments because he was just a great two-way player. He's
I
like
agree.
him and KD are my two favorite players, but
Hmm.
I don't see enough of him. So that's
I
what's
agree. I mean, the Clippers overall, it's just a sad story. It's a sad story to go too far back.
I
But
just don't
I
get why
think what
they
just,
never had a title, never had a title appearance. It's just
it
crazy.
never made sense to me
Mm.
because they would always do well enough in the season to make playoff contention. And even in
Yes.
the last couple of years, especially, when was that? It was either 2021, 2022. They did phenomenal. They had a great season. Playoff time comes and
Yeah.
they can't make it past the first round. I've never understood why that is, but I don't know. I agree that Russell Westbrook was not a good fit for that team. And he just didn't seem to be like shaken out well. He's doing great with Denver. I think that was a fair trade for him because like it would actually put him in the place where he can actually cop a ring
Hmm.
and maybe think about settling. Because I know Westbrook is like he's somewhere in his early 30s,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. So I'm like, at least he can leave behind a little bit more of a legacy. I really don't know. If anybody would get traded, I would want Kawhi to go somewhere else to
Really?
protect his legacy.
Okay.
Because I feel like part of what you're saying is coming to pass. Like
Yeah.
his legacy is not being fulfilled in the best way, staying with the Clippers. Like I understand being loyal to a team, but friend, maybe just don't finish your career there. Because
That's what I would
yeah.
say. Like, don't finish your career there. Like, you have
Hmm.
to think about the long-term metrics and the fact that,
Right.
man, that's that. I don't know if that franchise wants you. That franchise is looking at
Mm-mm.
you as damaged goods.
Pretty
So that's
much.
that they're looking at you as damaged goods. The Toronto year was great, but still, he was not going to stay in Toronto.
I
I don't think
mean, the
anybody was.
Toronto year was great. We forget about all of his efforts with the Spurs. Like, my goodness,
Hmm.
him and I think at that time Tim Duncan was still playing, getting them one last ring before all of them just went on to NBA glory. Like, goodness.
Yeah, well, that's
But
hilarious.
all of these things are the things that are forgotten in Kawhi's history because of his
Right.
present circumstance.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think that this would be the place he needs to like to lay his head on, like to
At
just
all.
set his cap down. I really would love to see him. I would love to see him traded only for the sake of him being an incredible player, get what's left out of him. If they're viewing him as damaged goods, maybe it is time to roll out because the Clippers, I don't know, I'm starting to feel like the Clippers curse is real, but I'm not trying to curse nobody, you feel me?
It's not worse than the Sixers. It's not worse than the Sixers.
No, no,
Just trust
no.
the process. To trust the process. I got so tired of hearing that mantra, trust the process. I was like,
Oh,
how long is this process?
absolutely.
How long is this process going to be? Like,
Yeah,
how long is this process going to be?
it's been a
I get
long
it.
while.
It's a cool mantra, but at some point, y'all
Mm-mm.
gotta like, you gotta update the IT system, and y'all gotta like, you gotta let send those
Not
people
update the
home. You
IT
gotta send the
system.
people home. Like, trust the process. Like, oh
Oh my
goodness.
goodness. Well, you know what? Speaking on that, trusting the process with Philly, my goodness, the last 2 years alone,
Hmm.
they've managed to maintain really, really well. They were
Hmm.
number three in the East for a while. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is great. But every time we get to that first round of the playoffs, we
Hmm.
just can't seem to hold on. I've never understood it. They have a phenomenal season and they just fall apart in the
It doesn't
playoffs.
make
And
any
I'm wondering
sense.
why it's not making sense. But I think, okay, maybe this is the thing that I really want to ask. Because coming out the gate, it seems like the East was having a hard time.
Very hard
Milwaukee,
time.
my goodness, was going crazy in the like a not good way.
Hmm.
I'm like, why are y'all playing like Detroit? Like that's crazy work. And then when Philly started heading in that same direction, I was like, is it what's the problem? What's the problem? So I didn't quite understand like how everybody else appeared to recover. Milwaukee recovered pretty
Yes,
nicely,
that's what I was about to
all
say.
things
They
considered,
recovered. Yeah.
but Philly is not and has not. So like what is it aside from Embiid not being well?
Whoa.
Cuz now they've got Jared McCain. Now they've
Yes.
got Tyrese Maxey. They've got Batum. They've got all of these great players. So what's the disconnect? What's the
Mm.
problem?
That yeah, the disconnect is absolutely crazy.
Hmm.
I just want to say this because I'm glued to like these ESPN updates. Jimmy Butler is trying to force himself to Phoenix, ladies and gentlemen. He is trying to force himself to
I
Phoenix.
what I told you,
Trying to force
friend.
himself to
What I
Phoenix.
told you.
Yikes. Like,
It's
fam, it's
not
going to be crazy. And I
happening.
just do not like again, I want to say this about yeah, I'm hearing they're saying they're hearing it's very close. I want to say this about Phoenix. That is not a good structure. I whenever I look at Phoenix, I look at very expensive Ferraris and no durability. I see like KD, oh my gosh, awesome. Booker, oh my gosh, awesome. Like Bradley Beal, not healthy. I just see a lot of Ferraris, a lot of like eye-popping numbers, but it's like there's no durability. I'm like, you guys are going to get cooked by Denver every year, and you're not going
Quite
to go far.
literally. Quite literally.
So I'm
On
like,
a good
Jimmy, if
day, they
that's where
get
you want to
cooked by
go,
Miami.
if that's where you want to go, do it. But it's just I don't see it. I don't see like where that takes you, man. So
At this point, Jimmy then shot himself in the foot. So like
yeah,
if he wants to go, let him go. I, honest to goodness, it's breaking my heart because I didn't think that Jimmy's legacy with Miami would end like this. Not like with him in just a heated shouting match with Pat Riley.
yeah,
Like,
man. I mean,
I
Pat
really
Riley
didn't
is the
see
guy
this.
who comes to the office, has the rings in his in the bag, and it's like, hey, here you go, man. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
No man is
Mm-hmm.
bigger than the team. No man is bigger than the team. Here are all the
Mm-hmm.
rings that I've gotten since the 80s. Like
Mm-hmm.
just stick it out with us. And another update, everybody is on the table other than Steph Curry for the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green is also on the table. And if Draymond is movable, they're saying 24 million salary opens up a lot of creative options for the Warriors. Buckle up. Buckle up.
I'm telling you right
Buckle up.
now, it's going to be hard for Draymond to go anywhere without a licensed therapist going with him
Yeah.
because the amount of anger issues
And the amount
and
of
the amount of
episodes he
apologies.
has to do with what's his face? I can see his Baron Davis. Is it Baron Davis? I think it's Baron Davis on the
Oh
Draymond
my
Green show.
sir.
So
Like,
I'm honestly at a point with Draymond where I'm like, just just join the Inside the NBA crew. Join the post.
please,
Just it's time. He's had a great
please.
career. I'm about to start a series where I rewatch some of the Cavs Warriors game for the Patreon, and I'm like,
Mm.
that's those were great times. But
And
at
they
some
were.
point, it's like, man, he physically was good. Physically was good. But
Yeah.
now he's like,
Yeah.
It's more the mental, you know.
It's very much more of a mental thing. And I think it's destroying the legacy that he has in a way. Like
He's
we
damage.
kind of forget
He's
that this
damaging his
man
legacy.
has,
Yeah, like
oh
four
yeah,
four
he has a
rings.
ton of rings. He has 4 rings.
It's
So
tough.
I'm like, sir, like what this just don't choke people. Don't
Yes,
do that. I promise you, I think I'd make good money as Draymond's therapist. We would be fine. We would do a lot of inner
but
work.
like
You feel
honestly
me?
though, he honestly is one of the most annoying people when it comes to apologies because I'm just like I don't even think he's remorseful. 2022,
He's not.
Jordan
He's
Poole, he still justifies punching a teammate, and everybody has it on camera.
Oh,
Like
of
I'm like,
course.
man, we didn't get to see MJ punch Steve Kerr because like there wasn't any like phone, videos, but like now we see it, dog. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't like his explanations on things. He's a great media guy, but
Absolutely. And I agree that he's a great media guy, but then again, so are a lot of players because they know the game. So like
Gilbert Arenas is
I
good. Yeah.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't dispute that in the least. But
Yes.
then we get to these incidents with him and all these other people, like the choking with Rudy Gobert was just it was too much. After a
That's so
while,
funny. That was so funny.
it was hilarious because Rudy Gobert is also a bit annoying, right? We can just name
Yeah,
that.
Rudy's annoying. I'm not a big Rudy fan. I'm not a big Rudy fan. He's that
I'm
dude.
not either. I'm not either.
I
I
saw.
think
I
Rudy
remember what
rides
you did.
hard for
I
this
remember what you did
team.
during COVID. I remember what you did during COVID, acting like that was a joke, and you just putting all your hands all over the mic. It's just sick, dog.
It really
So
was though.
sick. Like,
So
what are you
yeah,
thinking? Ugh.
he wasn't. That's the part of the
That's
problem. You
yeah.
feel
He
me?
doesn't think. He doesn't think. He doesn't think. Yeah, he doesn't think at all. The last topic I want to get to
hmm
OKC. They are absolute world beaters right now. 39-9.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they've won like 7 of their last 10, and Shea is
hmm
just like awesome. Shed
Shay's going
so
crazy,
good.
bruh.
Like I love
hmm
this team. I love like I think they really feel like they let us a year ago losing to
Yeah,
Dallas, which I
yeah.
can understand that. I can understand that.
hmm
I thought Dallas was the better team, but they let that game go.
I agree.
But to me, this is the West favorites. I don't see a team in the West beating them.
I
And
don't either.
I think I think they go all the way. I think they go all the way this year.
Honest to goodness, I'd be really mad if they didn't go all the way. Like if I'm tracking correctly, they do not have any championships. Because well, then again, they've done a lot of name switching and all
Yeah,
of that. So I'm like
Seattle.
with
Yeah,
records and all of that. But yeah, they honestly deserve it. The
they
way that
do.
they've been consistent out the gate. I'm talking
Yes,
about from when the season started.
right.
Remember how we were just talking about, how Milwaukee and Philly, they had a rough
Mm-hmm.
start. Milwaukee recovered, Philly didn't. They've just been consistent from the get. So
From
I'm
the
like,
jump. Yeah,
I
I like that.
really
I
would
like that.
love to see them go all the way. I
Yeah.
really would. It'd be a nice kind of playoff setup if they can make it to the finals.
Mm.
Now I wonder though. I wonder if it's going to be like these other teams who manage to fare out well through the season. They get tired in the playoffs and then they start fumbling. They start
I
losing games that they should be winning.
I see that in terms of the durability of OKC. That's what kind of
hmm
concerns me the most. Is like
hmm
Shet is like I don't know. He had a history of like some a tough like season ending type of injury, but he's a
hmm
lanky big. So lanky big sometimes can be I think more
Mm,
vulnerable.
okay.
And not saying that he's gonna have any. I don't wish injuries on anybody, but you
No.
never know. You never know what can happen.
Yeah.
So I would say with OKC, it's just about monitoring, and I think their coach does a great job of monitoring their minutes. The issue I have with the Knicks, a team I mentioned, is Tom Thibodeau will literally run his players to the ground. He plays
True.
Jalen Brunson like 48 minutes, and it shows. He looks exhausted. But
Absolutely.
with the OKC, I think they're very time efficient. They know what to do, and they're just like their business. Those guys are buttoned
Fair.
up professionals. So
hmm
I
I'll
think
tell you
they're on
what,
their
I
way.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Because there is a different, you see how you were saying like Phoenix is like a whole bunch of Ferraris,
mm-hmm.
but it's like they got like Toyota engines. Like, help me understand. Like, No durability. I think with the thing with OKC is that there's a different level of professionalism and
Yeah.
a different level of understanding for the game. It's a lot of youngsters on that
Hmm.
team. It's a lot of talent, but it's managed.
Oh yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
like
Yeah, it's buttoned
there's
up.
not like a whole bunch of superstar plays. And honest to goodness, there doesn't need to be because
Mm-mm.
that creates sustainability.
Yeah.
And they play together well, they move together well, and it's proven. Like
Yes.
their record is crazy in comparison to some of the other teams. They're what, number two overall
Number
in
two.
the
Yeah,
standings
number
because
two
they're right
overall.
behind Cleveland.
Yes.
Um, so I'm really interested to see if they can hold this level of being buttoned up
Yeah.
until the playoffs. It's a lot of games. It's
And
a whole lot of games.
and please, like, okay, see, this is what the league needs. The league needs a renaissance of smaller markets. I think Adam
Yeah,
Silver
yeah.
okay, he knows that he wants the big he loves that LA got Luka. He loves that because he's like, oh,
Oh,
big
of
market,
course.
do what you
Yeah,
do. But I think this is the year where we see the smaller market teams actually step up because the bigger market teams are still trying to like get their things together. So
I agree.
no. Yeah,
I
the,
agree.
the bigger markets are still trying to get their things together. But Miami, like, they're struggling. You know what I mean? The Lakers, they're not where they need to be.
No.
So you got all these teams. Boston, I think Boston's good, but something's a little off with them this year. I don't know what it is. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's just like they're in a malaise of like, okay, let's just get to June. But they're
Hmm.
kind of playing around. They're kind of playing around a little bit. So I hope they kind of get it together because I would like to see Tatum and Brown grow. But I think at some point, this is my hot take. I think they're going to split up at some point. I think Brown and Tatum are going to split up at some point because I think there's going to be a moment where one of them. I think Brown really thinks he's better than Tatum, low key. I think he's like,
I
I just have that feeling that he's like, yo, I'm better than you. Like, you know,
Is this a safe space?
yeah.
I think Brown is better than Tatum.
Wow. Really? Is Tatum like low key a mediocre superstar? He's good, but I think he settles for too many shots. That's my thing with Tatum. Tatum has the ability to like settle for so many shots. I'm like, wow, like in
Hmm.
a playoff game, it's kind of crazy that you're settling for that many shots.
Absolutely. And I mean, we could see it in like this last go round of playoffs.
Mm,
There were a certain amount of games where I just feel like Tatum was off. He was just off.
yeah.
And it cost them. I feel like they could have finished the playoffs a lot quicker
Mm,
um, than they did. And part of that is because of Tatum's inconsistency, whereas Jaylen Brown manages to stay consistent throughout the season, throughout playoffs. He just reads consistent to me.
yes, for
And
sure.
it's a consistency in a lot of ways that I feel doesn't get as much notoriety, doesn't get as much respect. Like I think the difference is that Tatum is he is I don't dispute that he's a great player. He
Mm,
has a level of star power that Jaylen Brown doesn't have.
oh, for sure.
Jaylen
Yeah.
Brown just plays the game. And because of that, I think he gets overlooked a lot.
Yes.
So there were a lot of people, even amongst the team. Now, this is just from what I'm reading from expressions during the finals, right?
Mm,
There were a lot of people that really did believe that, and if I'm not mistaken, did Jaylen Brown take home an MVP for anything? He did not, right?
no, he did not. He did not.
He would, it felt like he was supposed to though, because
Yeah.
in the places where Jason was kind of slipping up, Jalen
He was covering
continued
it. He was
to
covering
be
it.
consistent. He was covering that man six. So I'm like, I don't know. I think he is a better player, not in terms of like skill or whatever, but I just think he's just more consistent.
Oh,
He's
for
more
sure.
consistent. He gives
I think
regularly to the
like
team.
if I'm not mistaken, I don't know why I'm having it. I think he won Finals MVP. Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP, right? Was it Jaylen
I
Brown?
I think you're right, if I'm
Yeah,
not
I think he won
mistaken.
Finals MVP. So
Yeah.
again, like I personally think he had the more impressive series when it mattered most. And Tatum to me, like he did all of the other things. He did like the rebounding, did the assist, did the defending, but I was just like, why is this guy not dominating
Hmm.
as a scorer when he to me he's like
Mm.
he should be dueling with Luka. This should be your one mano y mano
Yeah.
against Luka. So
Yeah.
again, he's 27, 28. He's gonna take some time for him, but I also just I also think sometimes he's very like mediocre in big games, So
I agree.
yeah.
I agree, which is why if they were to split, I would see Jason leaving as opposed
Oh,
to
okay.
Jalen
Okay.
leaving. Honest to goodness, I think there would be enough.
The
I guess
ladies and
it would be more
gentlemen,
so a star power.
The Luka and Jason Tatum duo is about to happen. It's gonna happen. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Which would be crazy. It would be crazy. It would be crazy. But I just think Luka's gonna bring stars over to LA. I think Luka, we're about to see like
Mhm.
like LeBron is. I'm just so intrigued to see how this LeBron and Luka thing is. Just how are they gonna split up the you know
I'm intrigued to see
same
it as
player,
well.
same player.
Yeah, honest to goodness, I'm intrigued to see it as well. And I think part of it, they're saying that LeBron is setting up to finish well
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, he is, my God,
Is he the
he's
best ever?
40.
Is he the best ever?
He,
Again,
um,
I have somebody coming on next week who he keeps telling me that, and I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see
I
it.
don't know that he's the best ever. I think he is one of.
He's
And
one of, yeah. I give that to him.
yeah,
I give that to him.
I don't dispute that in the least. I think kingliness in the NBA can be shared.
Mm,
I think MJ is one of, right? I
yes,
think LeBron is one of.
Kobe.
I don't dispute that. I think Kobe is one of. But like for somebody to be the GOAT, I don't know that anybody can truly hold that title. I'm impressed with LeBron's longevity. I don't think he's going to finish the same way that MJ did.
Mm,
And we're already seeing that. He's playing, at 40 as if he were a 20 something year old. He's
yeah, his
conditioned his
performance
body
at the Knicks,
well.
his performance against the Knicks, I was like, yo,
Hmm.
he's still doing this. He's still doing this.
Man's is tough work. I give
Yeah.
him his respect. Now, I also think that the game has changed. So, like
Hmm.
the way that MJ and them used to play, I don't know that it's the same way that LeBron and them play
Yeah,
now.
I
You
literally
see what
got a
I'm
message from
saying?
somebody from a friend who said MJ is why the league is soft today. And I was like, bro, MJ was like getting
Mm.
barreled by the bad boys and the Celtics. He was super tough.
Yeah,
MJ, like
it's a wonder he
y'all
didn't
can put
have like
together
any more injuries.
those reels where you like show different clips, and I'm like, you just are like manipulating the system because I'm like, no, MJ was not
Hmm.
soft at all. He was a dog. Like he was super tough. Like there's no way
Quite
I would ever
literally.
say that he was soft. Like absolutely
Oh
not.
yeah. And I mean, he had to go up against like some real heavy hitters, so
Yes, the
it makes
bad boys,
sense.
like he had to put on like 10 to 15 extra pounds in the summer just to like get ready for them. So, you know,
Hmm.
so absolutely. Finals prediction, OKC Cleveland, you said? OKC Cleveland? That the one?
OKC Cleveland, if they manage to stay on the path that they're staying,
Yeah.
I could
No
see the
injuries, yeah.
Celtics trying to poke their head in there
Mhm.
if they manage to just, come out of whatever little stunk they're in. But I would be surprised if I see anybody else, I'll tell you what.
Honestly, yeah. I
Hmm.
see I'm gonna be honest, I think the Lakers they might have a first round exit. I honestly think this might be like super early for them.
I'll give you that.
I just don't
I'll
think
give
I
you
think
that.
they're unless they make drastic trades before Thursday with size. I don't know. Like who could they get? Maybe Steven Adams. If they get Steven Adams, you might have a conversation. But I just don't know. I just don't know.
I don't even think it would be
It
enough,
wouldn't be
honest to
enough.
goodness. It wouldn't be enough. Like their current roster I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It's
So
going to be interesting to see them play without AD, I'll tell you what. I'll be looking forward to watching the next couple of games just to see how stuff just kind of shimmies out. But
yep,
yeah, I think
ladies and
Cleveland and
gentlemen.
OKC got this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you wake up tomorrow morning, you're gonna see some trades. KD is on the move. KD's on the move. So yeah,
I hate that Woj left his job because
I
I'm
do
like,
too.
oh,
Because this is Shams area. This is Shams era now. This is Shams era.
mm-hmm.
So Shams
It
is
ain't the
doing his thing.
same though. It
It's
ain't the
not because
same.
the Woj bomb was just like, oh my gosh, like the Woj bomb. The Woj bomb was like
Mm-hmm.
where it was at. The Woj bomb was where it's at. It's like, yo,
Yeah,
Kawhi and
man.
PG to LA. It's like, okay.
Between that and Damian Lillard headed to Milwaukee, Portland just left
Yes.
in the dust. I
A
tell you,
full
man.
documentary should be made off of the Woj bomb. Like it just was,
Yes.
and then the
He's documentary
Shams,
worthy.
Sham
Oh,
Sharani, like it just doesn't feel the same. It's just like it's
it
cool though.
don't.
So,
It hit
but
different.
But Melissa, thank you so much for being on. This was an absolute pleasure. I hope this was enjoyable for you.
It
Thank you so much for being on.
was. Yeah, man, I enjoyed it and I hope to come back again. I mean, this is most of the time, this isn't the arena that most people ask me to operate in. So I'm really honored to to be on your show and to give my 2 cents, to give my
Nah,
thoughts.
nah, you're cooking. You're cooking with the takes. So the Miami fan base. The Miami, I don't know what your team's gonna look like tomorrow morning. I don't know what they're gonna look like, but Tyler Hero.
Listen, one man is not bigger than the whole
Yeah,
team. You feel
no,
me?
absolutely not. Well, that wraps it up. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.